by thanking, again, the BPW and the Chamber of Commerce for this event tonight. Also, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your schedules to be with us tonight. I want to start by telling you just a little bit about my background, why I'm running for prosecutor, and what I plan to accomplish if elected. I have been a practicing trial lawyer here in Ottawa County for about the past 8 years. I actually have a law office located just down the road here in Port Clinton. I have experience in numerous fields, including criminal law, domestic relations, real estate, and also small business law. I have had the pleasure and the opportunity to represent criminal defense clients and other clients in over 60 different courts throughout the state of Ohio. In addition to my experience in private practice, I've also had the honor to be employed by Judge Winters of the Ottawa County Common Pleas Court for the past 6 years as his court administrator. In addition to my role as the court administrator, prior to running for the office of prosecutor, I also was able to serve as a magistrate for the Court of Common Pleas as well as the juvenile probate courts here in Ottawa County. However, in order to run for the office of Ottawa County Prosecutor, I was required to resign from those positions as magistrate in order to comply with the Ohio Code of Judicial Conduct. So, throughout my experience as a trial lawyer, an administrator of the court, and also as a magistrate, I've had the unique opportunity to view all aspects of our justice system here in Ottawa County and have an insider's perspective into that. On a daily basis, I work with the prosecutor staff, defense attorneys, law enforcement officers, and other public officials to ensure that justice is administered fairly, effectively, and efficiently. Through this perspective, I began to see some issues and some results that, in my opinion, were not in the interest of justice. While working at the court, I began to develop programs and policies to assist in alleviating some of these issues. To name a few, I created a drug court program, a mental health court program, a supervised pretrial bond program, a random drug testing program, and an in-house intensive outpatient therapy program, and an intensive supervision probation program. But despite the many successes of these programs, many of the problems remained, and many of the results, in my opinion, were not just. It was at this point that I decided I would need to run for the office of Ottawa County Prosecutor to effect the changes that I continue to believe are needed in our community. I suppose that's enough about my background, but let me tell you what I plan to do if I am elected as your prosecutor. I have 4 priorities that I believe need to be addressed immediately. First and foremost, I believe we need to have increased collaboration with law enforcement. Communicating and collaborating with our police officers has to be a priority in every case. Our police officers are the ones who actually know the defendants, they know their families, they see them in the community, and they know what that defendant may or may not be capable of. In a majority of the cases, the first time the prosecutor will meet the defendant will actually be in the courtroom. So what we need to do is we need to take our officers' advice, listen to what they have to say, and include them in any decision-making processes. So, second, I also believe we need to develop innovative processes to continue tackling the drug epidemic that is so prevalent in our community. As court administrator, I have successfully developed 7 different grant-funded programs, all of which specifically target those suffering from addiction or mental health issues. As prosecutor, I plan to continue developing innovative programming so that we can finally get a handle on this problem that we so desperately have in Ottawa County. My third priority will be to handle the most important duties of the county prosecutor personally. To me, the individual who is actually accountable to you, the public, should be directly responsible for the most important aspects of the job. I do understand that delegation of duties is necessary, but we shouldn't be delegating the most crucial aspects of that job. In my opinion, the most important duties of a county prosecutor, or the most important duty of a county prosecutor, is to ensure the safety of our community by prosecuting dangerous criminals. And I'm not just talking about murder. We have several other violent crimes that are here in Ottawa County. As prosecutor, I intend to handle those serious cases personally. And I do understand, as Mr. Mulligan said, there are several other responsibilities of the prosecutor's office that are civil in nature, and I am fully capable of handling those as well. But in my opinion, keeping our community safe has to be the first priority of any prosecutor. My fourth priority will be to increase transparency in the decision-making process. As prosecutor, the decisions that one makes cannot be based on what that individual prosecutor may want, but it has to be based upon what the law requires and what justice requires. That being said, I believe we need to make the decision-making process very transparent. I believe the public needs to know exactly why a plea deal was offered, why a case was dismissed, why the jury found the defendant not guilty, and what efforts were made in prosecuting and investigating that case. Without this transparency, we, as the community members, are left to guess why those actions were taken. As prosecutor, I only seek to do justice in the community, make sure we all have a safe and prosperous place to live. Justice requires fairness, honesty, and hard work, and I'm prepared to give you just that. So I would appreciate your support in November, and thank you all for your time.